Okay, so I'm on the phone now with Ade and his wife Queen, and we're going to be talking about different drop shipping methods. And they had a couple questions, and I thought it would be good to record this because a lot of people have the same questions. So I was actually asking them what steps they're in. So if you could just let me know exactly what stages are you guys in building your business, so we can just kind of start from that point. So I'm not either doing something too simple or something way too advanced.
Sure, Bucci. So basically, we're kind of new to the trade, and we started off by opening up two stores, one on Amazon and one on eBay. A good number of the items there are just basically books and thrift items that we purchased, and we're trying to um, flip them on these sites. We also have a site. We have a store on Top Hatters, which is a bidding site.
Okay.
We're very limited supply because it's overwhelming when you have the amount of people that purchase items. So we're trying to leverage the drop shipping option for Top Hatters because this seems to be daily sales. And we're looking to open up our personal store using Shopify, incorporating that website with a tool known as Oberlo. I hope I got that right.
Yeah.
And
Or
that
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yep, and that would evidently pull down information from AliExpress in
Mhm.
order to build up that drop shipping option.
Okay, nice, nice. So that's good. So you guys have started off with what I recommend everyone do. A lot of times people make the mistake and they just say, well, I want to start drop shipping, and then they hop on Amazon and they don't realize that it takes 2 weeks to pay your money out. And you know that you have to pay all this money up front. They don't know the process, they don't know the steps, same as eBay as well too. So that's good that you guys have at least started your stores. And I don't personally do any retail arbitrage. I just started off with selling products from my house that I knew that would make a profit. And just so I could learn the process, the method, and then also get my feedback up, because people don't want to really buy from newbies because, there's no reviews. They don't know if you're legit or not. So that's really good that you're at that stage. So what exactly would you guys like to know about drop shipping?
So first off is the website that we tried. I think that would be the first question, because we're having challenges building that site up with Shopify. We're still in our 14-day trial. Um,
Hmm.
we were able to follow through some steps on how to pull information, how to semi-automate it, but we're still having challenges setting up the website. Maybe you might have recommendations who to engage to try and get it up to a point where we would feel comfortable to start incorporating the drop shipping options.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Have you started drop shipping at all?
No, we have not.
Okay. So I would recommend you to start drop shipping on eBay and Amazon because you're already on those platforms, correct? And you're familiar with it?
Yes, we are. Yep.
Okay. With Shopify, it's a different beast because mainly you're having to generate your own traffic. You're doing a lot of Facebook ads, ad sets, and a lot of that stuff. And once you get it, it's pretty simple. But I have not started the Shopify store. I have my store up, but I just have not done the Facebook ads. That's the part that I'm at right now. I'm learning it. But I always tell people who start on eBay first with your retail arbitrage, selling stuff around the house or buying stuff and reselling them. Then move to drop shipping on eBay and Amazon as well too. And then when you're ready and you're confident and you have all your suppliers, you know who you want to go with, then move to your Shopify store. Now, a lot of people have different ways in doing it, and my way is not the set in stone. You know, lots of different methods have worked for different people, but I can only teach you or tell you what has worked for me and what I have seen happen to other individuals who didn't do it that way. I know a lot of people get their Shopify stores and find items on AliExpress, and that works for some people. But I do it differently. All my wholesale and not my wholesale, all my manufacturers and my distributors are located in the US. There's only one product that I was approved to sell that was actually overseas, but their distribution company is in the US. So I deal with the US distribution company. And I'm confident with these suppliers. And if I place in an order, they're going to get there. You know, I have credit lines with them. So now I'm going to my next step in opening my Shopify store. And I have that capital in order for me to be able to drive that traffic into my store. Because I would love, love, love not to have to pay that 15% to Amazon or that 13% to eBay. You know, if I can just cut that out, you know, my margins are excellent because I'm drop shipping the proper way, the correct way. But if I can just, you know, get them out of the picture, not altogether, you know, hey, it's still free money. But, you know, if I can just maximize my own personal store, it's yours. You can actually say it's yours and you can resell it. You can scale it as big as you like. And, you know, once you learn the process, just duplicate it and you can have more than one store.
Absolutely. Yep.
So since you guys are brand new, but you guys have already done, you said you've made sales on eBay, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you guys have like capital set aside to do this? Or are you guys like still in PayPal jail, or is Amazon holding your funds or anything like that?
Well, just two items so far on Amazon. They haven't dispersed the funds, so they still have the money in their possession. I believe once the items have successfully reached the customer, that's when they
Hmm.
they sit on a certain day. So I think the next one is September 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. That's the next time they disperse funds.
Okay, got it. Now I'm gonna walk you guys through things that can happen with your money on both platforms because I think that I've been through every trial and error. like I'm like, are you guys just picking on me? Like what's going on? So with eBay, it's pretty normal. They put you on something called availability program. They just want to monitor you because you're a new seller. So the requirements for you to get off of funds availability is 90 days on eBay, at least do 25 domestic transactions, and at least hit 250 dollars in sales. So once you have accomplished that, then they take you off of PayPal jail and you can receive your funds immediately, which is very imperative when you're drop shipping because essentially you're using that customer's money to go buy that product so your distributor or manufacturer can ship it to them for you. So if your money's being held up and you're having to pay and this and this and that, you know, if you don't have a lot of credit or if you don't have funds set aside, you can see where you can run into problems with that. Now that's
Uh,
eBay. eBay's nice about it because they at least tell you what the criteria is for you to get out of that situation. Amazon is a whole different beast. They kind of do whatever they feel like doing and they don't give you an explanation. Here's my example. Whenever I first got in there, I blew past my seller velocity limit. Within maybe 3 or 4 days, I sold close to $8,000 worth of product. Then they flagged my account. They wanted to know where I was getting my product from, who I was. They wanted to monitor me, and they wanted people to leave reviews, and they were just making me jump through loophole after loophole after loophole. Long story short, they ended up holding my money for 45 days. And about 35 calls later, I finally ran into the right representative, and then she just kind of broke it down to me and told me how to write seller performance and send them an email, a proper email that says everything that they want to hear, and then they released my funds. But you can only imagine I was out $8,000. Well, it wasn't $8,000 because that was the whole what my price was to buy it was less than the 8,000 because my profit was tied up in there. But
Gotcha.
it just was a miserable headache. If I didn't have credit, I would have been stuck. And then I had to, put my listings on zero because I just couldn't keep dishing out money if they weren't going to pay it back in. So it's a lot of different things, that people don't really take into consideration. And then they get themselves in these situations, and then that's when you see people's accounts getting suspended and people getting in trouble and all this other stuff. And the way that I drop ship is legit because I've set up my business. I have my resale license and my business permit. I have legitimate contracts with all these companies that they email them to me. I sign contracts as well too. And then they send me invoices. So if eBay or Amazon had ever, when they did ask me for my documentation, I had everything. So that wasn't the problem. I wasn't buying off Amazon and mailing it to someone on eBay. I wasn't doing it that way. And the margins doing it that way, it's just so slim. It's not worth my time, you know? So
Yeah.
what I'm going to get into here is showing you guys how to start finding suppliers. And do you kind of have your niche, like what you want to sell, what products or categories that you do want to sell?
Well, yes, we highlighted three items. It was consumer electronics, one. The
Hmm.
second one was going to be jewelry and accessories, and baby products. No. Men's accessories. Yeah.
Okay, men's accessories. Okay, so there's a couple different ways that you can go about it. So I'm not sure if you can see, but I went ahead and shared my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is just the plain old eBay site. So, consumer electronics. Let's go with electronic. I'm just gonna actually play around it. Actually, I'm gonna cheat because I've had more time in finding these things. And this is a freebie. Whoever's listening to this, and you guys, if you choose to use it, you're more than welcome to. I actually was approved to sell drones for DJI, and
Oh, perfect. That was what I was thinking. So you might as well
oh,
just
you
go with
were
that.
nice. Keep going. Tell me more. Okay, so I'm just gonna click shop by brand. We'll do DJI. And if you kind of see like these listings, it gave me a listing of like 5,212 results. Okay, whenever I'm doing this, I look at this number right here. You see how it says 274 sold?
Yep.
Those are the numbers that I look for, to see, okay, the market is saying that a lot of people are buying this product. So I'll click on the listing, and then I always click on sold, because just because it's 274 doesn't mean that it's still relevant. That could have been like 3 years ago. So I
Yep.
click on sold, and I want to see that it's recent sales. Okay, so you see they're doing pretty well. August they had 5 sales. July they killed it, super killed it. So this is a good product for me. So I'll go back, and let's just say I had no idea what DJI was, because whenever I was looking this up, I really didn't know. I just knew that a bunch of people were selling these drones, and I wanted to figure out how I could jump on the boat. I guess my computer is going a little slow because I'm doing too much. Okay, so down here you see where it says description, item specifics. Then the
Yes.
brand name right here, it says DJI. So I would take this brand name right here. I'll copy it. Then I'll go to Google and then I'll paste.
Yeah, I think you've copied done.
So I want to go to the main page. So I'll just put the brand name in there. And then I always look for the official site. So this right here is the official site, www.dji.com. So I'll click here. And then at the bottom is usually where they have wholesale, become a dealer, or things like that. Online store. So you see right here where it says become a dealer?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll just click on that. And it's really honestly that simple. So you see all the information that they ask you, trade name, registered as, your tax number. So that's why I tell people you need to be a legitimate business, because these people want to do business with professional people. You know, these are $1 million companies, and, you know, they don't want just anybody just out there slapping their product around. They want you to be able to represent them, you know, in the same manner that they represent themselves. Business
Good.
address, they want your website, you know, because a lot of people are put off with, if they just know that you're going to hurry up and get their product and sell it on eBay and Amazon. You know, it's not a bad word, but, you know, that's easy. And a lot of people are doing that. And you're going to run into some manufacturers that say no third party marketplaces. Sorry, that's my 2-year-old. She's supposed to be sleeping, but she's not. So bear with me. No, but and they're going to tell you absolutely no third party marketplaces. Do not rule those people out, because once you start getting the hang of your Shopify store, that's going to be even more inventory that you can list, and plus make good money on that as well too. So, you know, just go and fill all this out, and then you click next step and it
Can we
just
stop?
sends it off.
Can we
Oh, go
stop
ahead.
you here real quick? Well, let's
Yeah.
go back to the where it says the URL piece, just a little bit down. So it says website, company URL. What if you don't have your store? Can we use our eBay URL or Amazon?
No, I would. This is what I would do. This before I contacted any suppliers, I at least had a somewhat store put together, even if it wasn't finished,
Okay.
because that's important. That's something that I would advise people to do before they start contacting the suppliers, because these people are cutthroat. You know, it's a business. Either you have all your stuff or you don't. You know, even if you just have your
Well, give it an
URL.
example, considering as we are that we're still on the 14-day trial. I mean, we have the URL which can be used. I mean, I'm sure they can tell that this is still in the works.
Yes, even if it says still under construction, you can say that's better than sending them to your eBay or Amazon. You can just you give them your domain. You have a personal domain. You don't have the dot Shopify dot whatever. Did you purchase a domain for your company?
Well, we intend to purchase a domain because we're still in the 14-day trial. We're just trying to
Okay.
build it up. At the time when we get to make that, when we launch the store is when we would incorporate the domain.
Okay. What I would suggest, this is what I did. I found out what I wanted to sell. I tailored my company name around that to kind of just make it make sense. And then I also checked domains, because that's a huge thing, because you can come up with this great idea and then you go to buy the domain and it's not available. Then that kind of just kind of throws off all your plans. But purchase a domain ASAP, and then also make your email, get a professional email. So a day or queen at whatever your company name is.com, or you can put contact at companyname.com. It just has to coincide with what the name of your company is, because it needs to be legit, because they're kind of turned off by people who have like Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, and stuff like that, because it doesn't really scream professional or business.
Okay.
The only problem with that is Shopify does not host emails. You can purchase the domain, but they would not host the email. But I think there's a way to configure your Gmail account to have, for example, contact at yourstarname.com.
Yeah,
I
there's a
think there's a
bunch
way
of
to do
ways
that.
you can do it. I'm trying to think of, I think I purchased, because I have so many domains, but I think I purchased a domain from Wix and then went to GoDaddy. And I might be lying, I'm not sure. But I think I went to GoDaddy. I know I have my business email through GoDaddy, but I can't remember if I bought the domain through GoDaddy or Wix. But I think you still can do it, I believe. If you didn't buy the domain from that whatever web host, I think you can still get a professional email and link it to that website. I think you just gotta double check on that one, because I'm pretty sure that that's what I did. But it was such a while ago, and I had some help doing it, because that's not my favorite part.
Did you build your store yourself? Your personal
I
website?
had help. Yeah, you gotta, in this business, pick what you're good at and outsource the rest.
I,
I
I
was
have
thankful.
to tell you, I spent. I mean, I literally spent hours trying to get mine to a point where I felt comfortable, and I gave up. So if you had one that you would recommend, that we can, take advantage of, please let us know. And
It was actually my sister that did my personal site, the one that's on Wix, that's not a part of Shopify.
okay.
She created it for me. It looks really good. But yeah, I'll definitely look into some stuff and give you guys some advice, because I got to the point where I was obsessing over this. I was stressed out about it. And I talked to one of my mentors, and they said, does it really make sense for you to spend almost like 40 hours on this one project, and you could have been doing all this other stuff that's bringing in money? Sometimes you just got to outsource. Being cheap is going to cost you money in the long run. So you got to put up that little money, pay for it, and move on. I was like, okay, I understand what you're saying. Like,
Sure.
my strong point is just going out and getting deals with these companies and making sales. I've accepted it, and that's my role. And everything else I pretty much outsource. And I have virtual assistants that help me list, because I hate listing. That's not my thing. I just can't get into it. But I'll tell you, I'll find some gosh darn good products that make some good ROI. So hey, it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
as we get older in the game, I think we'll start talking about that virtual assistant, because that sounds interesting. I think you get to pay people for a couple of hours, and then they help you with that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and when you get to that point, you'll get there a whole lot quicker than what you think. And it's kind of cool, because the company that I use, you don't have to book them for a certain amount of hours. You just use them as needed, and they have employees there from as little as $5 an hour all the way up to $50 an hour, just depending on what you need them for and what kind of expertise level that you need. But they're phenomenal, because they take the people, they train them, and it's a trusted site that's here in the U.S. and obviously they use workers that are overseas. And if that person quits, then they take the initiative of training the next person to take their spot. So that just that's a huge thing right there, because it's kind of tough to find a good person and be able to stick with them, because life happens. Once they go, then you got to go train another person. So when you
Yeah,
guys do
that's
get to
right.
that point, and I'm pretty sure it'll be sooner than you think, just let me know and I'll give you that info as well.
Sounds good.
So
Thanks.
yeah, no problem. So did that kind of help you see what to do once you find like a hot item? And you just, like I said, here's this eBay listing. It shows 274. They killed it. They super killed it last month. This month wasn't that great, but they still had about 5 sales this month, 5 or 6 sales. You go down, you look at who the brand is. You look it up on Google, see if you can get the actual website of that company and contact them directly. So this is the proper way to do drop shipping. You know, People are hopping on AliExpress and finding all these cheap items and trying to sell them on Amazon and eBay. For one, the shipping time is too long, and for two, the market is so competitive, you're not making any money really. So that's why that method works when you have your own store, your own Shopify store. But for this is the way that you want to do it. And if you build it right this way, when you transition over to your Shopify store, you're going to make even greater margins because you don't have to worry about that extra 13% or 15%. Right now, I'm averaging about anywhere from 17 to 25%, and that's me having to pay that 15 and 13%. So whenever I just master it, I'm going to be doing no less than 30% on each product. And I sell high ticket items. I think the cheapest item I have in my store is $100. I sell my range is about from $100 to $2,700. That's what I do. And I don't want a bunch of little bitty items and just nickel and dime to death. No, I want the big items that is worth my time, and then move on and let's get the party started.
Okay.
Um, and I'm actually going to give you guys a little cheat as well too. I was debating on whether I wanted to share it or not, but I was like, I'll share it. Okay, so I just opened up another browser. Actually, I'll go back to this one and then just go to Google and then just give me a topic that you were interested in selling. What was another one?
Jewelry.
Jewelry? Okay. Was there like a particular type of jewelry?
Necklaces and earrings, right? Yeah, necklaces and earrings.
Well, you could do. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could do full cases, whatever.
Cases?
That's
Okay.
essentially.
What I'm doing is I'm using the power of Google and making life so much easier. Okay. So if you go on Google and you type www.ebay.com, I didn't mean to do it twice, /item. And then in the first parentheses, you're going to put whatever niche or whatever product it is that you want Google to search for. And then the next one, I want them to show me items in that niche that have sold anywhere from 100 to 50,000 times. So let's see. Hope I pulled it up right. So you see here, this first one, it's going to tell you it's this iPhone case and it sold 156 times. Okay. Then this next one sold 5,856 times. So it's just giving you the hot selling items with just one line right there, as opposed to you going through eBay and doing it that way. There's nothing wrong with that way. But this way, if you know what you're looking for, you can just go straight to Google and just look it up. With phone cases, it's a little bit more difficult because sometimes they won't tell you the name brand. But this one is selling for $5.99. It's pretty cheap, and I'm almost for sure that this person is a wholesaler and they bought in big bulk. The brand is Bassus. Let's see if we can find out where they bought it from. I tell you, my computer does not like me right now. It says I'm doing too much. Just try and type it in. Basseus, was that it?
I guess so.
Basseus. Oh, I did get it right. Okay. Bassus iPhone accessory cases. So I'm not sure if this is like a. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try. They might be manufacturers from overseas. That's something that you probably would have to buy in bulk just because, it costs too much just to send one wherever they're located. But I would click on contact. And I'm such like a I want instant results person. Yeah, these people are not here, but you kind of get the gist. Like I would always go to the contact info or become a dealer. And if there's a number, I don't fill out the forms. I call them because I want to talk to somebody and I want them to email me the stuff directly to my email. I'll fill it out right then and I'll send back all the information that they asked for. And I contact them every day until they register my company with them and they send me that price sheet. Now, I know the first couple ones you get excited, be like, yay, but I just want you to know that not every single account is going to be a winner. It is what it is, and not everybody's going to say yes, and some people are going to want you to explain themselves. You just got to have thick skin, have your business model intact, know about your company, speak highly of your company, and don't say, oh, we're just starting off and we're not sure what our numbers are, because people are going to ask you. DJI, for example, they're going to ask you what are your projected sales and what are you currently doing, and you got to know that lingo and tell them something. Don't tell them what your numbers are now. Just tell them what you plan to do, what you see in your future. So just a little tidbit right there. But that's pretty much how I find my suppliers and what's selling. And I picked 3 different niches that kind of mesh well together. So I'm never out of ideas. I'm always able to add stuff in different companies and place them in these 3 different categories. And it's worked out really well. I know there's a lot of softwares out there that people use to see how the market is and tell you what the sell-through ratio is. And it is what it is, but if you're not careful, you're going to start buying all these different softwares, and then before you know it, you got $300 or $400 going out per month on softwares when I just showed you the easy way to start. Start simple. You don't need to start signing up for all this stuff up front and in the beginning. Just start off this way and then slowly start growing. And then, whenever you have income coming in, then use that, reinvest it in the business and start getting all these other accounts. But and that's a lot of people do get turned off because it's like, well, I got to get that software to front. No, I just showed you how to do it for free. It might take a little bit longer, but you got to do what you got to do.
Okay.
Did you guys have any more questions for me?
So once you get registered, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here.
No, you're
But
fine.
when you get registered with a company, let's say BJI approves you. So what next?
Okay, so it just depends on how they operate. Some companies manufacture and distribute their own products. Some people only manufacture it and forward it over to a distribution company. So, depending on how they do it, either it could go one of two ways. They'll register you with their company and they'll send you over the price sheets and they'll give you the pictures and stuff that you can use and you just start listing the products and then once you get an order you just uh, communicate with that whether it's via email or you call in or they'll forward your information to the distribution company that sends out all their products for them and you'll register with them and same thing they'll give you all the media the pictures that you can use and the price sheets and then you just list your product and once you start getting sales you contact them and give them the information to your customer and all that and they'll send it to your customer.
Okay, so this you have to manually fulfill these items, but you don't have possession of those items, right?
No, I do not have possession of those items. And I remember in the beginning you were telling me about Orbelo and some other stuff that does it automated. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people are doing print on the demand POD, and that stuff is automated as well too. But this way, it's not automated. Um, you can get to the point where whenever you get a lot of different orders in, you can make an Excel spreadsheet and just mail it, not email it to your manufacturer every day and stuff like that. But no, this is not the I'm buying it from AliExpress and it's linked to my Shopify store and once I get an order it's automatically fulfilled. No, this way is different. It's different, but it's worth it. I'm telling you. It's
Oh no, 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 absolutely. I mean, every little bitty detail helps. The umbrella piece was something we happened to just come across, but I mean, it's nice that we know hit the ground running, lack of a better term. This is better. At least we know that this is possible. Because sometimes your software will break, or or you have a glitch on your system, and you want to quickly send it off, or just try to
I'll,
fulfill items.
here's another little tidbit. The easier it sounds, the more saturated it is.
Yeah, exactly.
there's there's I've watched so many drop shipping channels and all this and I just sit back and I listen and I was fortunate enough to stumble across these two individuals that taught me the right way out of the gate because I sat back I was getting ready to buy stuff on AliEx and list a whole bunch of products off AliExpress and I'm like this is great and I'm so glad that I didn't do that because my gut was telling me like there has to be a better way because I was seeing the profit margins. And I was like, wait, so you mean to tell me that I can buy this on AliExpress for $2.99 and people are selling on eBay for 83 cents? I don't know about you, but I'm in the business of making money. And if I'm putting my effort and time into it, I better be making a good portion of money for that transaction. I'm not being nickel and dime. There has to be a different way to do this. So I just kept
That's good.
searching and searching and I ran into these two individuals that put their little videos together. There were no Ferraris, there were no mansions, there were no nothing. It was two country people that barely could put a sentence together. They were so awkward on camera, so you could tell that they're not salespeople. And I was like, perfect. I know these people are going to be real and genuine. Not saying anything about anybody else who has a Ferrari or anything like that, but it is what it is and they just broke it all the way down. Like we're telling you stuff that the real drop shippers they don't want you to know. This is how the big boys make money. This is how you do it, and it is like these people are wow. Just I've opened my eyes. I'm like I'm doing peanuts compared to what some of these people are doing, and that's the real way to do it. So all these self-automated things. I mean, yeah, it's great and it's super and it's simple and it's easy, but there that that's not what I've seen that makes you a significant amount of money in drop shipping.
Okay.
How do you market, like advertise
No, that's
your items and all that when you start with Shopify?
I'm actually going to I haven't started that yet. I actually am going to start it next week. I've been dibbling and dabbling with it, but I'm to the point where I'm comfortable and I have my credit lines ready and available. Well, with Shopify it's different because your funds are available immediately, so that's a plus side. But I've just been kind of concerned because you need to have capital for the traffic. All these people that are saying it's just $5, you can do it. No, it's no, that it's more to it than just $5. You know, you have to have a budget set aside, a significant budget, not a huge budget, but just make sure that you have that available and be willing to lose money because not all the products that you test are going to win. So I just been trying to prepare myself just to get that going. But definitely, whenever I learn it, or if you guys learn it before me, if you guys want to share, but I'm looking to start that next week and just testing it out. I do have my Shopify store created. I just have to add a couple more products, and then I'll go live and then start doing my marketing on it. So I'll definitely share with you guys how that's going out.
okay. So, in a nutshell, let me just go over briefly what you had walked us through.
Mm-hmm.
So, look for items that are big hitters on eBay. Look for items that are the highlighted portions that says the item sold. Look how the market is doing in the last couple of months. Look for the brand name, engage them, and see if they're willing to do business with you.
Correct.
Have your company details ready, and once they send all that information, so once you get that data that has the pictures and the item descriptions and all whatnot, you would go ahead and create these items. So if you're listing, how many items would you say are available? Do you purchase these items up front from the merchant, or is it when it's sold that's when you get your commission, or how does that work?
So like, what do you mean? When do you get your commission?
So if you're let's just give an example. The drone. The drone is $50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you purchasing it upfront from the manufacturer, or are you just listing and marking up the price on your own? So if your purchase price from the manufacturer is $50, would you come on eBay, you would sell it for $100, or you would see what people are selling it for?
That's a good question. So you're pretty much wondering how to price your item, correct? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, pretty much, and at least up until the point where you had to fulfill that item for a customer.
Okay. So up until the point that, like I said, it just depends on what stages you are with your eBay account. If you're out of PayPal jail, then the funds are distributed to you immediately. So I listed a drone. Hold on, let me see if I can just find one. Oh, oops, hold on. So I'm back on the homepage and I'm just going to pull up one of those drones, the DJI Spark. I know those are pretty popular right now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is it's fine and dandy. You're like, okay, yeah, 10 people watching, but I want to know what they're selling for. So On the left-hand side over here at the bottom, I'm going to click on sold listings.
Okay.
And then, sorry, my computer's going slow. Come on. Okay, and then instead of doing recent, I'm going to do highest first because I want it to categorize it from what the highest item sold for all the way down to the lowest because I
Okay.
want to see what the market is saying of where it's selling at.
Okay.
So what I like to do is I just scroll down and then whenever I see a consistent number, like a range of what it's selling at, then I know that's where I need to price my item. So it looks like this one is selling in the anywhere from the 8.99 range. A lot of them are around 8.99, I would say, up until the 9.50 range. Highest one I'm seeing is 9.99. So I think you'd be safe if I was selling the Spark, anywhere from the 900 to 950 range. If I priced it within there, I'd be good and I believe that it would sell because this product is doing well from the market research that we have done.
Well, something I'm
Now,
looking, looks like those that are within the 900 range have the free shipping option. Um, Anything less than that comes. So it all depends on you. If you're going to be doing free shipping, then I guess you'll have to add in that cost for shipping and the item,
got it.
right?
Yeah, that's correct. hmm So if you're out of PayPal jail, then say a customer bought this item for me for 950, okay? They
Okay.
bought this one for me. They deposited 949.90 into my account. Okay. And then I buy it from DJI for 750. Okay. So I call DJI. I say I need to place an order, give them the order number, the item number, and my customer's name, my customer's email, not email, address, and then I pay them 750. And then they ship the product to my customer blind drop ship without an invoice, so they won't know how much you paid for it, and some companies will also put your company name on there as well too, like uh, jewelry electronics.com, whatever, or whatever the name of your company is, and then they'll ship it to your customer, and then out of that money, obviously the next thing that needs to come out is your eBay fees and eBay and PayPal fees, which is about 13%. Then the rest you just keep.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I think I have a little bit clarity now. So if you're
Mhm.
stuck with the PayPal jail with eBay, you would have to cough up that money. Um,
Yeah, if they're holding your funds, then you need to find somewhere in one of your accounts $750 to pay DJI so he can send them the drone to your customer on time. And then that's
that,
a yeah. So and then make sure another mistake that I was doing in the beginning, I was putting 1 to 2 business days handling time, and it was killing me because I didn't really know the rhythm of my manufacturers yet, and some people are quicker than others, and some people wanted to, since I was new, they want to verify my account and call me and make sure that it was me placing the orders, and it just was a headache. So I made sure to give myself 3 business days handling time, and then that buys me a little bit of time to make sure that my orders are shipped and out, and then they have time to give me that tracking number, because not all of these companies are going to give you a tracking number immediately. They might place the order, and once it ships, then you get a tracking number. So and that might be a day or 2 or 3. So you just really have to communicate with these people and have relationships with them, and know how it works.
gotcha.
I know it sounds like a lot, but like once you just get into it, it's like just like anything you do. In the beginning, it just seems a little overwhelming, and oh my gosh, I freak out. And then once you get in the rhythm of it, you're like, oh wow, that's it. This is super easy.
Okay, makes sense.
Perfect. So, do you guys have any more questions for me? And I'm just trying to look at my notes to make sure I just jotted some stuff down. Yeah, I told you guys about that cheat for the Google,
Yes.
and then I showed you guys how to just do advanced eBay market research pretty much. I mean, it sounds more complicated than what it is. It's really not that serious.
One more thing. So you had mentioned earlier that a lot of the companies that you deal with are based in the U.S.
Hmm.
Um, so, I mean, would you advise that we stick to that method of engaging?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Just because when you start getting with people overseas, like for instance, DJI, the guy that I had to talk to, they're overseas, but they have a distribution company located here, actually in my city. It's like maybe 15 minutes from me because I'm close to downtown, so that's fine. But when you start having to ship from China or Indonesia or wherever it's located overseas, it's just a headache because what if you have a return,
Mhm.
and how long is it going to take for the item to get here? How much is shipping? Like it can't possibly be that cheap for you guys to ship it. So I got to add this. I have to take that in consideration in my pricing. It's just too many different factors trying to sell on these marketplaces and having your supplier overseas. It's more than I would like to risk, so I just stay clear of it. And I've been perfectly fine. There's plenty to use in the U.S. You just got to find them, and once you start getting in the hang of finding them, you'll be able to find them in 20 minutes or less. It's really super simple. And also these wholesale directories where they want you to pay like a fee and they'll give you a whole supplier list. You don't need that, you know. And I've kind of peeked into one of them here and there, and it was all middleman people. They're buying it from the actual manufacturer, marking it up and trying to sell it to you, and you're thinking you're getting a good deal, and you're not. You still can't make anything. So the way that I just taught you is the best way, and it's going to make you the most money.
Okay, cool. Do you have any more questions?
No, you asked almost everything I wanted to ask.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it for us. I mean, if we have
Yeah,
any questions, I mean, I'm sure we can send you a quick chat.
definitely can. Yeah, I'm open. If I have time, I'll definitely get to you. I do pretty well with DMs. My DMs are kind of getting a little flooded. But and I'm also doing live calls on Instagram, 9 p.m. Central Time. I'll try to do those maybe 2 or 3 days out of the week. But I'm super easy to reach. This is what I do full time. I have both my phones attached to my hip. So if I'm not either taking care of my children or listing or working, that I'm available to people that need help. Not everybody. Some people annoy me. Yes, I'm still recording, so that was a terrible thing for me to say.
Mm, that's this question.
All right.
What about it?
You sure? Resellers license. Okay. You for the state you mentioned something about the reseller's license.
Mm,
I don't have that. Because I mean, my state in New Jersey, the state of New Jersey is a nexus state.
Hmm.
We're expected to collect tax, but I've been up for that. So when I spoke with them, they said, well, you'd have to be collecting tax for you to have a reseller's license. Is it imperative that I need to have it before I engage any of these suppliers?
Yes, because if you don't have that, then they legally and technically cannot give you the product without charging you tax.
Gotcha.
So you need to get that. And then sometimes those organizations, they don't really get it because what we do is still kind of new, and it's kind of like in its own little limbo island world because we don't have a physical store, but we sell to pretty much everybody in the US. But from what I understood, and please consult a professional when it comes to this because I'm not giving you guys any kind of tax recommendations or anything like that. But how I run my business is I don't charge sales tax unless they are purchasing, unless it's a person that's buying from me that lives in my same state. So that from who I spoke with, that's what they told me I needed to do.
Yeah,
But definitely
right.
seek professional advice whenever it comes to that. But to answer your question, yes, you need that resale certificate, a sales tax and resale certificate in order for the companies that you are buying from to exempt you from paying taxes.
Gotcha. And you were right about charging sales tax to those that are resident in the state that you live in. So that's all right. That's pretty much it.
Perfect. I'm so excited. You guys are going to do really well. And that's good that you guys are both doing it together, because it's always better to have two people because one person has strengths that the other doesn't. And, you guys just pick which part of the business that you like and you guys just stay in your lanes and you guys will scale up quicker than just the one man show for sure.
Yeah, trust
Yeah.
me, it's overwhelming because I mean I have a full-time job, and again, um, our daughter is a handful, so it's
Oh, I know. How old is she?
13 months.
Oh, nice. That's a good age.
So yeah, um, we just feel that we're not making as much sales as we expect to be making, and
Hmm. I'm telling you, just go get all that stuff that I told you to get. Package yourself up as a legit business. Start contacting, find what's selling, find out who the manufacturer is, get approved with them, start listing, and I promise you it'll turn around. And it's so much easier than doing that retail arbitrage, going out, finding products, buying products. And I know
yeah.
it's good money, but you guys have your hands full already. You guys have the jobs, the baby. The baby is like having four or five jobs.
God,
So
tell me
I
about
hear
it.
you. Yes, I have a 2-year old and a 7-year old, so I understand. I don't have time to push her around in the store looking in the clearance section and scanning it to see how much it sells for on eBay, Amazon, or wherever else. I don't have time to do that. So I chose this method and it's working really well. I stuck with high ticket items. And another little tip and trick for you guys on eBay to get your feedback up, because people at least want to see you have a number next to your name and positive feedback. It's not just about buyers leaving you feedback. You can go and buy little 25-cent stamps, win these little auctions and stuff, buy a cheap product from China for 99 cents and they will leave you feedback. I have two stores, and that's how I got my feedback. Within a day or two, I had at least 20 feedback next to my name to make me look like I was more established. And I listed $100, $1,000 items, and people bought them. So that misconception of, oh, well, you're new, so you should only sell $40 items because that's crap. I've done it. I did it myself, so I can tell you, you know, just go invest $20 and say with this $20 I'm going to at least get 15 positive feedback from these sellers. Go to these little auctions, buy 25-cent stamps, buy a 99-cent item from someone that's in China or whatever. You leave them feedback and they reciprocate. or sometimes they just automatically leave you good feedback, and then that's how you get that's how you establish your account.
Okay.
That's a huge one because no one else is telling you that out there. Everyone's telling you like, well, just ask these buyers. No, because buyers, the ratio from buyers to how many items sold to buyers leaving feedback, you'll be waiting forever to get it up to where you
I
need
think
it.
I have enough feedback on my personal paper, on my personal eBay. So I'm
Hmm.
thinking I'll just convert my personal
No,
eBay
you don't have to. Well, I mean, if you want to convert it to a
to
business,
open another store as
yeah,
business
we can do that.
because I have enough feedback on that one.
Yeah, you can do that too. Well, I think what we started doing was actually buying stuff using the company or the store name. So I think we have like two
Hmm.
feedbacks since we
Hmm.
started. So yeah, that's
Okay.
something that we're paying close attention to. Um,
Okay, yeah. Just go, like I said, the quickest way to do it, go buy 5 99-cent items. That's $5 right there. Go buy
mhm,
10 99-cent items, that's $10 there, and then get your feedback up to at least 10 or 15, I believe.
okay. So what's the maximum? I mean, maybe this is a weird question, but when you talk about engaging suppliers, like what's the max that you can? I mean, is you can get suppliers from in the U.S. besides just checking up on eBay and looking at the brand name. Are there other articles or sites where we can go and view distributors in the U.S.?
Like like a wholesale directory.
Yeah.
I was saying before, the wholesale directories that I ran into, one of them was a piece of junk, and the other ones wanted you to pay. Um, and if I run across one, I'll definitely share it with you. I'm not saying that they're not out there. I'm just not sure, but
Okay.
since I've been doing this, I haven't ran into one that was worth anything, to be honest with you. My best success is just doing it the way that I've been doing it.
Okay. So
And then
ultimately,
also, if
your
you just,
market niche.
huh?
No, ultimately, it's about finding your market niche. I mean, looking for items that.
Exactly.
Yep.
You just got to get in there, target it, don't be all over the place, and just dig deep. They're there. There's so many of them out there. And even if you type in whatever you're looking for, like a chair, and in parentheses, become a dealer, sometimes it'll give you all the listings of different companies that offer you to become a dealer of their products.
Nice.
It sounds better and easier.
Yep. Much easier. Much more better. Well, thank you, Bucci. We really appreciate taking the time out to walk us through.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome. It
much.
was my pleasure. My pleasure. I'm so excited, and I hope to hear good things of you guys growing your business. Definitely.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Gucci.
You're welcome. And if you have any more questions, just shoot me a DM, and then I'll keep you guys updated on when and what days I'm gonna go live and all that other stuff.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, y'all have a good night.
Are you as
You
well?
too.
Okay, bye.